Hello everyone, this is Bentley, and today for episode 21 of Tank of the Week, you might say it's 22 because Christmas Day we did a not Tank of the Week, but this is officially episode 21. We're back here in the grow room, we're at the raising rack for the rainbows, and we're going to talk about the last Gary Lange rainbow that I haven't talked about yet. And they're down in that corner over there, but well, they're very special. So, let's talk about them, and we'll put up some B-roll that I shot while I could get a little less glare at night, just to see them a bit better. So these are a unnamed Melanotaenia species that come from Iwur. Now what makes this fish really cool is when they hit adulthood, and they're starting to get some color now, you might be able to see little bits of it, but as they hit their full adult colors, they're going to look, well, like this photo that we're going to put up on screen. Now, I was given this photo by Gary Lange. He said that I was allowed to use it in my videos. Just as some disclaimers here of where this particular photo comes from. I try my best to credit photos, but in this particular case, Gary had specifically told me I could use it and to make sure that I credited him, so I'm doing so. But you can see this fish is beautiful. It has a nice kind of powdery blue body, lovely orange-red fins, a lot like the Melanotaenia goldii decai, which is a very, very popular fish. And we'll put up another photo. This is also from Gary Lange. These are the goldii decais, and you can see the similarity. But let's talk about the major difference. The goldii decais are going to get 5 inches. They get big, very large-bodied, very long for a rainbow fish. Now, most rainbow fish are going to get 3.5, 4 inches. These guys get huge, that 5-inch kind of size. These are the big boys. And if you've watched, Gary's fish room tours, maybe you watched Lucas Brett's, you've probably seen some of these guys at full size, and they are stunning fish. So why get an Iwur? Why get a fish that looks so similar? Here's the cool part about the Iwurs. The size they are in the tank right now, which is, 2.5 to 3 inches, depending on the fish. About 3 inches in the biggest males that are in there, the big wide-bodied guys. That's as big as they're going to get. They stay toward the size of a dwarf rainbow, so a lot like the Melanotaenia praecox, aka the dwarf neon rainbow that everybody knows real well, the McCullochai rainbows. A lot of those fish that they only get like 3 inches, so you can put them in smaller tanks. This fish is super new to the hobby. I got them for the first time from Gary at the AGA convention, so the Aquatic Gardeners Association. I'd been talking back and forth with Gary, and this is the one where he said, this is the one you're going to definitely want. And he sent me just a picture of it because he hasn't really shown it to many people at that point. And, I ordered, I think it's 6 fish that I have. I think is all he would let me get, if I remember correctly. It takes a little bit to remember. I think it was you can basically buy 3 pairs. That's what I'll let you have. Or, it wasn't very many. And I was just like, give me as many as I can take. I really wanted this fish, and I have gotten some eggs out of these. Actually, I have a single baby. I'll cut to a little bit of B-roll of that baby zipping around. He's in with all the blue shrimp. That one little rainbow is an Iwur. But, I've had some misfortune lately with my rainbow eggs, so I don't have a lot of them yet. Now that I got them a little bigger, so I'll get more eggs and a little bit better eggs out of them. So it's about time I probably get a mop back in with these fish. I'm trying to make some adjustments around the fish room and some stuff like that to get raising room for these fish. But why do we get fish that look so similar and the size is different? Is it just because, it's smaller, you can put it in a smaller tank? That's part of it. The big thing is with a fish this size, a lot like the praecox, it has a wider appeal because not everybody's going to want to get a 6-foot long tank or, even a 75-gallon where they're 4 foot long. However, a lot of people can justify their, quote, big tank as a 40 breeder. And these fish do very good in a 40 breeder because of their size. You can fit 10 or 12 into a 40 breeder and have this beautiful school of fish with blues and reds and oranges that zip around, look great. Even the females have a little color. Yeah, they're more dull than with most rainbows. You know, they're almost always dull with few exceptions. But those boys will get so much more vibrant, and it'll be obvious, and you get to see the courting displays and all that really good behavior that we come to know and love out of rainbow fish. Now, is there any other thing that makes these guys special, other than they're pretty new to the hobby? They were collected, I think, in like 2016 or 2017, very, very recently. I would have to confirm a bunch of notes, and off the top of my head, I can't remember, I'll be honest. But they're very new to the hobby. Not a lot of people have them, and they're really pretty. Now, that also means that I really need to get on it and breed these guys, but I need to get on it and breed a bunch of different fish. We know that. I know. You're like, yeah, Bentley, you say this all the time. I know. Believe me, I know. Part of the problem is, like, when you have a lot of stuff that takes up all your tanks, you run out of space to raise babies, and that makes breeding projects much harder than you would have wanted them to be. But I'm making some adjustments around my fish room for the start of this year, which, as you're watching this, Happy New Year. It is officially 2020. It is a new decade. It's January the 1st. And I am probably still exhausted from spending a late night out with my friends the night before. It was also my it's kind of a special day in that a new thing has arrived, and I'll show you that soon enough, I promise. I know I'm kind of like doing some vague conversations about that new thing and how it needs a giant tank, but trust me, this thing's going to be really sweet when you get to see it, and it'll be kind of a small mascot for the channel that you guys will get to see pretty regularly. So anyway, I just kind of want to go on a tangent. I mean, this is really simple. You can see it's just a small tank with these fish, and they need probably some shifts in this tank to get their better color showing, get some plants or some better light, and darken the bottom of the tank. And these are some changes that will get made when I'm able to finish everything I'm working on around my house. And then once that happens, then you'll get to see some much better footage of these guys. But I want to talk about just, I guess, for the next couple of minutes while we come back to my face, what's going to go forward with Tank of the Week. So we have 2 more episodes of Tank of the Week after this one. That'll be 22 and 23. And there might be a 24th. As much as 23 is a great number in sports, I was always a Ken Griffey Jr. fan, so maybe I should end on 24, which is also, symbolic of several other major sports people in the Seattle area. But we'll look at, one of the last tanks here in the raising rack, which is where the Zebra Autocyclists are. We'll do a small check-in with Bob, the freshwater sponge, because there's some goofy stuff going on in that tank, and I think you guys will actually be interested in it. I'll save the spoilers. I don't want to spoil it, but trust me, it's some bad news that turned good really fast, which is crazy to me. And then finally, if I can figure out a 24th episode, I'll get a 24th episode in. It might just be kind of an update of some form on like all the Tank of the Weeks, or maybe we'll visit one other tank again before we're all done. And then from there going forward, well, I asked you guys for your help. And I did a poll on the community tab, and as of filming this, I have no clue what the results are, because that poll is still going. And even at the time of editing this, I won't know those results. But the last day for those votes was yesterday. And as of today, those polls are all closed as far as the data I'm going to collect. And I am probably hurriedly collecting this while you're watching this video, or am doing so very soon after now if I haven't quite come to life because of, hanging out with friends. I'm not much of a partier by any sense, but, I'm spending time with friends on New Year's Eve, and we stay pretty late and goof off and, play games and babble at each other. So I will have inevitably gotten home at probably like 4 or 5 in the morning and be exhausted. But, you know, after that's done, it is you folks that are controlling what will happen, whether it is more Tank of the Week, a completely different series. Surprisingly, I put up an option at the time of filming this, which was we drop the second video a week. We only have one video a week, and I'll work on a much larger project. And I gave a couple examples, and surprisingly, that's doing very, very well. And should that option win, then fairly soon you'll see a video asking you for another vote, where it will basically be, here's the big projects I have in my head. Which one should I do? I'm pretty sure that you're all going to vote for the one I'm thinking of, but you know, I never know. Like, I didn't think anybody was going to vote as much for that option as it has been, and that has been blowing my expectations out of the water. So if that happens, we'll see an end to the second video a week for probably at least 6 months, because I think that's about how long it will take to do the new project. Or if there's a different series, then that series will probably run for roughly 6 months, maybe less. It'll depend. We might have like mini series or something like that. That'll also be something you guys will have influences on. So, you know, in the next day or so, be watching the community tab. If you're a subscriber and you haven't rung the bell for all notifications, make sure you do that so that you see when that community tab post comes up and vote. It's, you know, there's only like 200-ish votes when I had looked at all the numbers as of filming before I came down and started filming this. And, you know, with 5,000 subscribers and typically between 1,000 and 2,000 people watching any given video, if only 200 of you are deciding those things, it means you have actually a lot of power. And those are the most active people. So if you want to have some influence into those kind of things, make sure you check out the community tab and vote. And when the video comes out explaining some of those options again, there will be a poll attached to that video. Vote there as well. You can vote twice if you you know, pay enough attention. So for subscribers that have rung the notification bell, thank you very much. If you're not one, there's a good reason to do so. So that's really it. I mean, we're getting toward the very end of Tank of the Week. I've really had a blast. It's been a great challenge, basically making sure, messing with my schedule and figuring out how to get faster at editing so that I could get 2 videos out a week and not miss anything. We haven't, thankfully, we've never missed having 2 videos a week. I've been really good about doing that. And I've made some other small changes that will help facilitate that kind of stuff further in the future as well. But I just want to thank you guys. Like, I've really had a blast doing this entire series, and kind of what became a challenge to myself after you guys spoke was just based on a single person's comment, and then a poll, and then another poll, and here we are today, you know, nearing 6 months later, that we've had 2 videos a week and extra content, and I've really had a blast doing it. So I guess all I can say from there is thank you so much for watching, and stay awesome.